Hi, it's Mark Bossert from Top Local Lead Generation. We're here with Mr. Bernie Pawlik of the award-winning Best in Vancouver auto repair company, Pawlik Automotive. You can reach them at pawlikautomotive.com. How are you doing tonight, Bernie?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm good. So we're going to talk about Hondas.
Yes.
So Honda cars have been around for a long time. I remember when the Accords first came, or the Civics first came. They seem to have a great reputation. Have they always been good cars?
Yeah, Honda cars are awesome. I mean, they and Toyota are always cars that I recommend to people who want a solid, reliable car. We've serviced Honda for many years, and they just keep getting better and better. In terms of, have they always been good cars, you ask? Well, I think not always. I mean, some of the first Hondas that came to North America in the mid-1970s, the Civic, was a huge seller. It filled that compact economy niche that most people were looking for, or many people, I should say. But I don't think they were really particularly well-built cars. Kind of, to be honest with you, they're kind of pieces of crap. But lots went wrong with them. Timing belts broke, head gaskets failed, CV boots cracked, CV joints wore out. Compared to the Hondas of the past couple of decades, they were really very different in terms of quality. Um, Japanese cars have been amazing to watch over the last 30 years when I consider having worked on them. I mean, they constantly improve. It's like that Kaizen Japanese principle where they constantly make small improvements, and you can see it in their cars. I mean, every couple of years they just get better and better and better and better. Now, to put things into context, a lot of cars back in the 70s weren't built like cars are today, so perhaps the Civics may not have been as bad as they seemed.
Right. So I'm sure, like everybody, I see a lot of Hondas on the road, and they have motorcycles and marine engines and all sorts of stuff. Do they build trucks?
Well, I'd say yes and no. I mean, and I'm not sure what they sell in the rest of but in North America, really, I'd say they don't sell trucks. Although some of our repair information is sort of listed as Honda trucks, being the Honda Ridge line, which is a sort of little mini pickup truck, and the Honda Odyssey. But I'd say and the Pilot. But I'd say those aren't really trucks. They're more like large cars. But unlike Toyota, Nissan, other Japanese manufacturers, they don't make trucks like Toyota or Nissan, like full-size trucks.
So what sort of repair issues do you see with Hondas?
Well, sadly for us, but not for Honda owners, we don't see many. Most of the work that we do on Hondas built in the last decade is routine basic maintenance, oil changes, a few fluid flushes and services, brake pads and rotors. On models equipped with timing belts, they need occasional replacement, although they're making fewer and fewer timing belt models, so that service is starting to disappear too. A lot of their engines have gone to timing chains.
So timing chains don't require service?
Well, that's correct, but it does bring me to an important point. You must be more vigilant with your oil changes if you have a vehicle with a timing chain. You just can't afford to skip oil changes. Things like if the oil gums up, sludges up, it can wear the timing chain. The timing chain guides start to fail early. And all these engines have variable valve timing, which has very narrow passageways and solenoids to actuate things. So if anything gets gummed up, these things start to fail, and it can cost you just an absolute fortune to fix. So you really want to keep on top of your oil changes. And that applies to any other car with a timing chain, and there's lots of cars around like that.
Don't miss your oil change.
Don't miss your oil change.
So Honda has a maintenance reminder system. Tell us, how does that work?
Well, interestingly enough, I think Honda, when I think back of all the cars I worked on, I think Honda is actually maybe the first vehicle that I can think of that actually had a maintenance reminder system, way back even in the early Civics. And the early maintenance reminder system consisted of a little sort of green, it's not a light, but a little flag that appeared on the dash that said your oil change was due. And they had, I think, two or three, some of the models had a couple other things too, but basically these were just a mechanical device tied in with the speedometer, and every, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 kilometers, the thing would indicate to change your oil would turn orange, and you could just simply reset it by taking the key and pushing a little button on the instrument panel right next to the flag thing that came up, and that would shut it off. So that's your early maintenance reminder. It's funny how many people just disregarded those too back then, but nowadays they've got a very elaborate system. It's electronic, and it'll usually put up basically an indication of an A1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. I think they have up to A5 or B1, 2, 3, 4, 5 service. And what these are, the letters and numbers correspond to different types of services. Like an A service is an oil change, a B is usually an oil change and a comprehensive inspection, what we call a level 2 service at our shop. And then the 1s and 2s are, tire rotations or transmission fluid flushes. So everything's timed, but it's not just, it's very sophisticated. It's not just about mileage, but it's also about time, and it's about how the car is driven. So if you were to drive just very short city trips, the light may not come on for a year, but it's going to come on at a very low kilometer, like distance, maybe 5,000 kilometers. But if you're doing a lot of highway driving, you'll start the car, you're driving up to Hope and back every day, it might go 10, 12,000 Ks between oil changes because the oil doesn't get dirty as quickly under those conditions. So, and it seems to me to be quite accurate. I've noted, a lot of our customers, they don't, if we tell them to bring the car in 6,000 Ks, they just wait till the indicator comes on at maybe 8 or 9. And it seems like the oil, even then, is still, it's dirty, but not that bad. So I think they've got the system down pretty good. It's pretty accurate.
So are there any major problems with Hondas?
Well, they're not many. I mean, the only thing that leaps to my mind is some of the Honda Odysseys built in the sort of first half of the 2000s. They had quite a few transmission failures. Engines on all models seem to be rock solid. Most electronic systems are trouble-free. I mean, the odd thing does happen, but really it's pretty rare.
Any thoughts in conclusion?
Well, I mean, overall, as I said, I mean, Hondas are great cars. They're very reliable. But interesting, like many Japanese cars, they started off small, like the Civics, and they keep getting bigger and bigger. Like, the Civic and then the Accord back from the 70s and 80s, they were pretty small cars, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger till, the size we have today. I mean, if you look at a Honda Fit nowadays, that's pretty much the same size as a Civic was when it was introduced, or maybe it's even a little bigger. I mean, Hondas are fairly expensive car. I mean, it used to be cheap cars at one time, but they're, as they get bigger and better, the price has gone up as well. Kia and Hyundai have kind of taken in that lower end price, and they've actually, I mean, interestingly enough, they actually build very good cars. When Kias and Hyundais first came out, they're just pieces of crap, but they're really nice cars. I mean, I'd say probably as good in quality as Honda or Toyota. So they've definitely got some competition. But I mean, if you're looking for a good car, I mean, Honda Civic, Accord, they're always reliable, well-built cars. You can't go wrong.
All right, so we've been talking with Mr. Bernie Pawlik. He's 12 times been voted by customers in 2 different publications in Vancouver as the best auto repair dealer, auto repair and maintenance shop in Vancouver. So you can reach them at pawlikautomotive.com or give them a call, 604-327-7112. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark. We'll talk again soon.
Yep.
Good night.